The newborn DCEU certainly has the potential to become something even greater than anything before, and the addition of the Green Lantern Corps through the Lantern series is surely a good start. Which is why I decided to take a first look into things and tell you everything I know so far about the series. So without further ado, let's begin.
So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time.
Alongside 9 other projects already announced to be in development by James Gunn himself, we'll be serving as the CEO of the upcoming DC live-action universe together with Peter Safran, the Lantern's TV show that was confirmed right off the bat to release strictly on the HBO Max streaming platform, much like all the other TV shows that will be coming up next from the collaboration between Warner Brothers and James Gunn.
Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan.
Over the last couple of years, there have been many times when a series regarding the same topic was being developed and redeveloped, based on Greg Berlanti, a longtime steward of DC's TV shows. However, the entire thing was scrapped, meaning that what is coming up will be a whole new beast with James Gunn at the helm of things. And rightfully so, I think that the way things turned out, this could very well be a great idea. A fresh series developed in its place, which according to some sources will actually act as a foundational show under the plans from newly installed DC Studios heads Gunn and Safran. Hence, you should be expecting a whole lot more from the series when you put it in comparison with all the Green Lantern stuff that has been released so far, including the movie in which Ryan Reynolds stars in the lead role.
Don't give in to fear. Fight it. Fight it with me.
In the works since 2019, The Green Lantern was expected to be the most expensive series DC so far, with multiple stories spreading across time and space. Speaking of past Green Lantern projects, there was one only version that focused on the original Lantern hero, Alan Scott, a story set in the 1930s and 1940s, Macho Lantern Guy Gardner in more modern times, and one set in the future featuring a character that went by the name of Sojourner Mullen. There was also the previously mentioned ill-fated Green Lantern movie which saw Ryan Reynolds in the lead role, a movie directed by Mark Guggenheim, which was released in 2011, and ever since then no recent attempts at a project of this sort have been made outside of the already mentioned 2019 project that eventually got scrapped when the news about something entirely new coming up from DC Studios.
I don't need to tell you that the mere fact that it's humanoid is extraordinary.
As of this moment onward, it's still unclear as to how much time has been invested in the series, but sources say that the project is well underway, unlike the other actors so far who never had a chance up until now to hit that like button, just like you should if you haven't done so already, but no, on the more serious side of things, had the chance to make it to the big screen. This time around, the upcoming characters that will feature in the series will more than likely appear in another project from DC. I'm certain of it, with the series itself made in the way to use the format to explore and develop characters in a way that the movie format cannot.
The ring, it chose you. Take it. Place the ring.
And before I move forward with the series itself and everything that was said about some of the details regarding the series, I want to note that the series, much like all the other projects that were announced, will take place in the so-called Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters of the DCU.
That it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity.
The series looks to be very different from any iteration of the franchise so far, and bound to have even more differences from the latest Green Lantern series that was developed by Berlanti, something that is quite interesting to me and that points toward many people at DC Studios already in love with the franchise. A short synopsis was also given by Gunn during the latest announcement, which said that the characters in the series will discover a terrifying mystery that ties to the greater story of the DCU. The main characters of the series will be John Stewart and Hal Jordan of the Green Lantern Corps, along with other lanterns peppered in the mix. All in all, the series will be a terrestrial-based series that will see 2 Green Lanterns that are space cops and are responsible for watching over Precinct Earth. To top it all off, Safran also added that the series will have some elements from the True Detective series, but nothing more than that, which surely leaves the door open for many speculations regarding the plot.
In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU.
And even more questions that will need to be answered when the series gets released on HBO Max. With all being said and done, it'll be an interesting thing to see the dynamic between 2 of the most capable Green Lantern Corps soldiers, 2 characters who in the comics have the background of men in uniforms who did not shy away from fighting people of authority if it meant it was to protect others and uphold peace. Hal Jordan was a former military test pilot who accepted Ben Sur's dying wish to become his replacement. Meanwhile, John Stewart was a former Marine who has exceptional skills as a marksman and who upon discharge acquired a degree in architecture. Throughout the life of the latter, the Guardians of the Universe are the ones that kept watch over him, and it was them who decided that John has the capacity to join the Green Lantern Corps. Outside of featuring the origin stories of both the characters, the introduction of the Guardians of the Universe is a huge thing, as they could very well be the crucial part of the mystery that Gunn and Safran are trying to bring to the live action, with them probably having a much larger role in the DCU even after the Lantern series ends, seeing how they're very powerful and belong to the race called Immortals, who are considered as possibly the first ones who have smashed the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. However, in reality, they're probably the first intelligent life forms in the universe. The Green Lantern Corps' next appearance in the live action is long overdue to make an appearance in the live action, and I personally am so happy that a series featuring them will take place in DCU's startup. The release date of the series has yet to be announced, but according to what has been said about the series and all the other projects, we should be expecting the series to drop on HBO Max sometime in 2025 or 2026. This is just speculation, so you should take this information with a grain of salt, as it could turn out to be just that, speculation. And if that's not the case and everything becomes a reality, well then this is the place where you have heard it first. But sadly, this is everything that there is to know about the series. There have been no confirmations or any details about which cast members are already part of the project, or even who could become part of it in the near future, as well as the setting of the series and how it will connect to the other projects from the DC studios that have already been announced as part of the first chapter of the DCEU.
Let me take a squadron of my strongest lanterns against this enemy and I'll prove to you.
But this doesn't mean that you shouldn't learn a thing or two about the Green Lantern Corps and how the group came to be, right? Coinciding at the dawn of the universe, there were 7 different entities, each of them representing a single emotion: Ion, representing willpower; Parallax, the parasitic entity of fear; the Butcher, a demonic bull representing the overwhelming power of rage; Ophidian, depicting as a large serpent and an entity that embodies the subtle power of greed; Adara, a large 3-headed bird representing the undying essence of hope; the Proselyte, an embodiment of compassion; and the Predator, a skeletal, draconic creature representing the far-reaching power of love. The previously mentioned Guardians of the Universe were the ones to unlock the power of these entities, tapping into the immense power of Ion, and then using their powers to create the biggest and most famous space agency, the Green Lantern Corps. Whatever the case may be, there's a whole lot of history behind the Green Lantern Corps, and a proper origin story of 2 of the most notable characters of the organization from the comics could prove to be the best choice for Gunn and the others around him, who will be working on the series, with a new leader and information giving us a clear picture of the Space Cops and what makes them tick. See you in the next video.